All right, class. This is Mr. Beller. This is your Hurricane Day lesson slash classwork assignment. If you're viewing this on any day other than October 10th, this means that you are either in my A-Day class or you did not do the homework on October 10th. So now you have to do it to make up for it. Anyway, this lesson will go through uh, or look at the topic executive power and the Constitution, with a focus question being how did Americans' experiences with executive power shape their political beliefs? And the whole purpose of this activity is that you're guided through the process of modifying a thesis using conflicting primary source materials. You'll look at the Declaration of Independence, you'll look at the Articles of Confederation, and you'll look at the U.S. Constitution, specifically Article 2, which deals with the executive branch. You're going to look at these and you're going to modify your thesis while addressing Americans' changing views on executive power. The focus question introduces you to another important aspect of periodization, questions centered on the spirit of an age. As Americans' political beliefs change, did the revolutionary spirit end? And that's also going to be a clue to what your essay question is going to be for the unit test, which will be coming up on this week. So what is the objective? At the end of this activity, you will be able to develop an effective thesis and historical argument in light of new evidence. You'll be able to analyze changes in views on executive power and determine whether the shift to a stronger executive is the end of the revolutionary spirit. All right, so what you would need to do as you go through these instructions and after you have a clear understanding as to what to do, I would stop the video or shut down the video and go to my blog and you'll find this document on the same post that the video is on. This is where you can find the hyperlinks to these documents, or you can just go ahead and Google search Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, and the U.S. Constitution. I hear that they're pretty easy documents to find, so whatever floats your boat. All right, so you have the Declaration of Independence in front of you. You want to source a document as you did in the early primary source activities. For questions on periodization particularly, make sure that you're noting and comparing the dates of the documents as well as their authors, since understanding change over time is an important element in analyzing historical periods. So look at the dates, look at the authors, you know, understand the purpose of these documents, use point of view to determine how it impacts the content of the document, and their thoughts on the executive or on executive power. So as you're reading through these documents, I want you to answer on a separate sheet of paper the following questions. Why are all these examples of tyranny listed in the Declaration? How do they relate to the self-evident truths in the Declaration? And finally, how did Americans' experiences with executive power shape their political beliefs? Once you're done with this, you want to formulate a tentative thesis statement, which is essentially the answer that you had to number 3, because that is the same as a focus question. All right, so there you have your thesis statement. Make sure that it does the 6 things that it's supposed to do, and once again, you can find those 6 requirements on the blog. All right. Now that you've done that, we'll move on to the next document. These are the Articles of Confederation. You want to follow the similar structure as far as sourcing the document goes. Note the date, note the author, what is the purpose of this document, point of view, historical context. We'll get to that in number 2. So you want to use these questions to guide your analysis of the document. And trying to answer the first question, you should find that there is no discussion of a chief executive in the articles. So if that's absent, what has been put in place of an executive in the Articles of Confederation? With number 2, why do you think the authors of the articles designed the new government this way? In your response, use the words considering the context of the time period, ... So I'm looking for in these answers an evidence of an understanding of the time period from 1776, 1781, if you really want to get to where they're ratified, to 1789. So you should show knowledge and understanding of that time period and how it relates to the Articles of Confederation. Also, make sure that you refer back to my talking points video, and so you understand the strengths and the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation as well. And then number 3, once again, looking at solely the Articles of Confederation, how did Americans' experiences with executive powers shape their political beliefs? After you've answered number 3, you want to revise your thesis statement in light of this new evidence. And so I want you to write out a new thesis statement. So by the end of this activity, you should have 3 thesis statements written on a sheet of paper. All right, so after you revise your thesis statement for after the articles, you want to look at primary source number 3, the Constitution, specifically Article 2. You follow the same structure when you're looking at the Article 2 of the Constitution, and once again, you want to answer these questions on a on this sheet of paper that you've been using. Find the role of the chief executive in this new government. What does it say about the new chief executive? What powers might they have? Number 2, why do you think the authors of the Constitution designed the new government this way? In your response, use the words consider in the context of the time period. Once again, you should have some understanding, or your responses should reflect an understanding of some of the problems that were going on. Maybe Shays' Rebellion. You can look at the people, the delegates involved in the Constitutional Convention, but your answer needs to reflect an understanding of the time period and the historical context surrounding the Constitution. Then number 3, once again, how did Americans' experiences with executive power shape their political beliefs? You want to revise your thesis one last time. So once again, I should see the steps of modifying your thesis laid out on your paper. I should see your answers to these questions on that same sheet of paper. And if you want to know what the 6 steps or requirements for a thesis statement are, here they are. They're at page 3 of of this document. And then you want to think, and I want a little bit of, maybe a paragraph or 2. Instead of having a full class discussion, you write out how and why your arguments change with this new evidence. You also want to take into consideration and think about the significance of the shift in political beliefs exemplified in the Articles of Confederation and in the Constitution. If you can think about the significance of this shift, that will allow you to solidify your understanding of how change over time relates to periodization. I want to see a completed product for Wednesday. I want to see a completed product, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to help you and assist you in any way I can. However, I need to have something to work with. So make sure that you have a product out there on the table on Wednesday to show me, and we can move from there. All right, best of luck, and I hope everybody has power and is staying safe on this Monday.